Week 1 of the NFL season is in the books, and we had our picks before. Let's kind of digest here. Again, it is 7:55 Eastern from the Soriano Network compound here in New York City, from the Sirius XM studios in New York by Radio City. And before we have the Sunday night game tonight, Broncos and Lions, let's digest here what we learned today, or what we saw, and what really we could take away from the Week 3 games. Falcons Cowboys. It was surprising to see Whedon do as good as he did early, but then you saw the Falcons defense make the adjustments. Randall's not going to run like that every week. You saw that the Cowboys aren't necessarily dead in the water. They're capable of scoring, but long-term defenses will figure him out. Defenses will figure Randall out. Not having Dez hurts. Obviously not having Romo, who also has turned into a smart quarterback. That hurts. Falcons showed that they're legit. What we also learned from this game is that Julio Jones is the best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't want to hear Odell Beckham Jr. with his little catches with his, doing this with his hands before every game, getting that stick 'em arm pretty nice for those hands to get the catches. Julio Jones, best quarterback, best wide receiver in the NFL. I learned that from the Cowboys, Falcons. Colts, Titans. Colts aren't dead. Titans are still young. And Titans are a team that is learning, especially on defense. Mariota threw his first pick six. Mariota is human. So a couple of things that we learned from there. And also, the Colts, really the Titans could have A, gone 2-1, and B, really buried the Colts here at 0-3. There hasn't been an 0-3 team in the history of the NFL that has made the playoffs in 17 years. So that could have been a big blow. Colts end up winning. And it showed you again, also, don't count on Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck looked as bad as you can look, but Tennessee settled for field goals. Thought they had a big lead. Luck came back, and then the defense made a nice little stop. Also, Tennessee was not too bright on the two-point conversion. So we learned from that, you can't count the Colts out, and Colts are alive. Raiders and Browns. Raiders can win in Cleveland. They hadn't won there since the 80s. Carr is a pretty good quarterback. Defense is very shady. They were up 20-3 in this game. Looked like it was over. The fact that it was even 27-20, the way McCown was playing and the way the Browns was playing, just goes to show you how bad the Raiders' defense is. But Raiders are 2-1, and Cooper, Carr, offense is fun to watch. Look out for Oakland this year. They're not going to be as bad as people. I'm not saying playoffs, but they may not be as bad as people think. And also the Browns, what we learned, maybe Pettin should have stuck with Manziel for one more week. Jags, Pats. The Pats are here, and the Jaguars are here. That's what we learned in that one. And the Jaguars aren't even close to being on the same level as the Patriots. And that Tom Brady is God. 400 touchdown passes. Scandals or not, and all this stuff that goes around. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. This guy is a beast. He wins. He throws touchdown passes. He puts numbers up. This guy is unbelievable. Whether you like him, you hate him, whether you're skeptical, you got to respect him. He's the greatest of all time. And Tom Brady with his 400 touchdown pass today. Congratulations to Brady. Saints, Panthers. We saw that the Saints defense, again, is in need of a major overhaul. Couldn't stop the Panthers when they needed it. Backup quarterback didn't do that bad for New Orleans, but again, we saw that the Saints are done. And the Saints really are not the team in the NFC that people feared. People used to fear going to New Orleans or playing the Saints. They don't do that anymore. That's not something that we do at all. Eagles and the Jets. What did we learn from this one? What we learned is that the Jets are in deep trouble deep trouble. And I'm not, being a gloom and doom. I'm just stating fact. The Jets are in major trouble because you need a quarterback in this league, and the Jets don't have one. Geno's out, although he's been medically activated. Petty is unproven, and Fitzpatrick is awful. Fitzpatrick is turnover prone. He is not the answer, especially a football team in New York. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the answer. We saw that the special teams was asleep. Defense was a little bit of asleep, although you can't fault the defense in the first half too much, although they didn't play well. Couldn't stop the run. They held Philly to a field goal early. You can't kill them too much because they would stop Philly, have them punt. They'd be right back out there in 5 minutes because the offense would turn it over. So you really can't kill them in the second half. The Jets played Jets football in terms of defense. They pitched a shutout. But the offense just inept. Play calling was horrible. Bowles, again, with clock management. Almost came across as Herm Edwards when they had that drive to make 24-14. There was no sense of urgency. Clock is winding down the fourth quarter. You got to move here with the offense. So it showed you again what we learned from the Jets-Eagles is that the Jets are a work in progress. And the Eagles are not that great because the Jets were missing Decker. The Jets were missing Ivory on defense, on offense. The Jets played a poor game. And Philly almost lost. Almost. It was more of the Jets gave the game away than Philly actually, oh my God, Philly's back. So really, I wouldn't panic with the Jets too much in that game. I wouldn't go goo goo gaga if you're an Eagles fan also as well. Bucks Texans, they need field goal kicking. Both teams, and this is not even me trying to be funny. Tampa Bay and Houston need kickers because that was horrendous. That set the NFL back, that game. That was a horrendous display. And I was working that game for SiriusXM. That was a horrendous game. Houston and Tampa. They both need kickers. San Diego, Mike McCoy, again, he's not the genius that we thought he was. I expected Minnesota to run the ball with Peterson. Peterson had a good day. Adrian Peterson is back. That's something we learned from this game. AP is back for the Vikings. And the Vikings are no pushover. Watch out with Bridgewater and Peterson. Defense looked pretty good up front. Watch out for Minnesota this year. Again, Steelers, Rams. What we learned, the Rams have to move out of St. Louis because that field is a disaster. Big Ben is hurt. He's going to be out 4 weeks for Pittsburgh. Mike Vick is in. And we learned that the Rams are pretenders. They had that feel-good first week 1 win against Seattle, and they've done nothing since. 6 points today against Pittsburgh at home. They lose 12-6. Rams aren't that good of a football team. Niners and Cardinals, we learned that the Niners may have the worst defense in the league. They have been torched for 40-plus points 2 weeks in a row on the road against Pittsburgh and Arizona.